Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey everybody, it's Randy with Carchaeology, and today we're going to spend a little time on the Mercedes. This is the 1940 Mercedes 320 with the Coachbuilt body by Romich. So this car's been sitting since about 1969, we figure, maybe even a little bit earlier. And before we get this engine running, we definitely want to drain out fluids and see what's in there. So we know the engine is free. I've turned it by hand after soaking it, so that's a very good thing. But before we fire that thing up and get things really spinning in there, let's get all that nasty oil out of there and then pull off the oil pan and see if there's anything even cruder down underneath it. So follow along and let's do that.
Oh, there she goes. All right. Oh.
It is sticky.
Oh shit.
That looks mighty clean.
That is very clean.
I'm not seeing any sludge or anything funky in there. And what's it look like on your end?
It's the same. I mean,
yeah.
It's got a red color to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, there is
nothing milky, nothing funky. I don't see any clumps of anything coming out.
There, I just touched that wire there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that looks mighty clean. Mighty clean indeed. That's a very good sign that at least it's not full of tar and junk down in there. Awesome.
A pretty cool looking oil pan with those fins on it, kind of hot rod style. I agree. Definitely keeping that oil air cooled. Check out. Tuck it back on. Ta-da! Ta-da!
Look, there's stuff in there. Actually, it doesn't look too bad.
Oh, it looks, I mean, dark light, but
yeah.
Nothing's gumped up.
Yeah, what's it look like in the pan? Is it kind of gnarly in there?
Pull her out and give her a daytime look.
There we go.
So your plug's back here.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely some. Oh, look at this yummy, yummy tar here. Oh, we can make pie out of this. It's like caramel.
It just ruined pecan pie for me.
Oh, you want a lick? Look at this. Oh, that's like kind of enjoyable. You're gonna have to leave us alone here. Wow, look at this. Oh, shit.
Oh, hell, just lift it right up.
Yeah, I know. It just totally comes right up.
Wipe out the pan and throw it back in. We're good.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That is like gnarly. But everything up in there looks clean, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you get a flashlight in there and...
Yeah. We'll have to get under there and get a little bit more. But I think this goo here... Oh, my God. That's nasty and very pleasing at the same time. Look at that.
Reminds me of like Laffy Taffy in a way.
Oh, it is like Laffy Taffy. Go ahead. A little pinch between your cheek and gums. Gnarly. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely glad we dropped that pan because running that stuff up through the motor would have been catastrophic. Gnarly. So
All right.
how about this? I'll sit on the ground, you sit on the ground, we'll both hold it up.
Okay.
And say, hey, what do you guys think?
Right. No, that'll work.
That'd be cool. So there's the wide side and there's that.
Okay, so we're trying to mock up front bumpers on this thing to kind of see where it's at and where it's going to sit. Now, for some reason, this one's sitting in so much far. Oh, that's because this is bent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when that's sat in there.
Like this.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's totally the look, and that'll match up nice with that picture of what we've got for a reference. So it's just a matter of getting that stuff to fit. And then do the spreader piece to go between the center there to hold the license plate. Killer. So I'm feeling really good about the way that engine is looking inside. We got the oil out of it. The oil actually looked pretty clean. We got all that tar and nastiness out of the bottom of the oil pan, which is fantastic. I'm so glad that we took the time to do that, because spinning this engine with that tar down there in the crankcase could have easily clogged up all the oil passages within the engine, and it could create a catastrophic situation with that motor. So I'm continuing with the pickling process. I've been throwing some penetrant down into the cylinders, crank it over a little bit, 180 degrees at a time. The more that turns, the smoother it's going to be when we actually go to fire it up, and we'll make sure that everything is loose in there, that the rings aren't stuck, and so on and so forth. I've also stuck a borescope down into the cylinders through the spark plug holes. I can't see things wildly clear, but I'm not seeing anything that looks really nasty down in there, which is a very good sign. I'm considering, however, pulling the cylinder head. I do have a new gasket, a new head gasket for it, and it's not a super difficult thing. There's not a whole lot of things that need to come off of the engine in order to do that. So the only issue that I understand with these is that since it's a cast iron block and an aluminum head, sometimes you can have some fusing issues that can make getting that head off there quite difficult. So I don't want to take a chance of damaging the head. I don't know. I'm trying to decide whether I should pull the head off of there, make sure everything's all clean in there before we fire it, or if I just want to continue to pickle it, clean it, and then give it a go. So please put in your comments down below with what you would do if this was your machine. I'm also super excited that we're making progress on the front of the car. We sized up the reproduction bumper ends that I've got for it, as well as the bumper guards. My neighbor Ben, who's a fantastic fabricator, is going to work through getting the brackets lined up into the proper orientation, trim those bumper guards down to fit those bumpers properly, and hopefully we can make it look like it has been that way forever. It's interesting to see the car here without the hood on it, because you realize how much of that hood covers the cowl of the body. So the engine only takes up a small portion of the front end of that car, and that hood, it stretches obviously from the radiator down to just in front of the windshield here. And that's something that was a part of the coach work here. Now, keep in mind, this is a long wheelbase car. This started out as a Pullman limousine, which was the longest 320 model that Mercedes made in the era. But when they did the coach work to make it into a two-door convertible, they stretched that nose out to look as long and sexy as possible. So that's kind of fun to see, and it's even more evident when you get the hood off of it and you see how much of that span is really where the engine is versus the body back behind it. Let's see, other things going on with the Mercedes: continued cleanup, continued preservation, trying to stabilize the paint and anything that there is with this. Ben's working on the bumpers. He's also working on door latches so that we can get these doors to open and close and actually latch properly. And then I can get the glass into the passenger side here and put the original door panels back on here as well. In any case, getting a little bit closer to trying to do the fire up, got the gasket set ready. We've drained all the fluids out. I'm going to get underneath there, really clean the crankcase down underneath as much as I could possibly reach. Continue to lube everything up top here. And then I've got to spend a little time on this carburetor, which looks a little sketchy. Now, I have spent some time on it. It's now free. Things are moving where it was totally locked up when I first got it here. So at least the butterfly is working. I've sprayed some goo down in there, but I'm probably going to open it up, make sure it's not totally nasty in there. But I'm concerned in that I have not been able to find a proper carburetor kit for this. So at the moment, I'm not sure which way to go. I don't want to rip it apart, break any parts. Gaskets that can't be renewed might be an issue. But there's no rush. I'm going to continue the hunt. Might be able to find a carb kit for this, be able to pull that off of there and really dial it in. I know it needs to be done eventually, but the temptation, once we know that things are clean inside the motor, is to splash a little gas in it and throw a little spark to it and see if we can get it to bark to life. In any case, Mercedes updates, there you go. Thank you for watching, and I am looking forward to hearing this thing start and bringing you all along with on that adventure. Take care. Bye-bye.